Bass resonator here. I have been commissioned to do 4 Tealight candle holders, and 2 of them, and they want this mold particularly. I had shown them some samples that I had done, and they ordered these. This is with sand from the coast down here in South Texas, South Padre Island, and this has chrysanthemums, and they wanted 2 more flower ones and 1 more sand one. They're going to be using these as centerpieces on the table. They're going to be having a big get together with a bunch of other women, and they want to have these really nice things, and then they're going to give them away as parting gifts to different people. So, but I said, well, you know, I don't have any more chrysanthemums. I'm going to have to use different flowers. And they said, that's perfect. Everybody's different. So I've got 2 miniature roses that I dried, and then I've got 3 different pansies that I dried. So I thought I'll put the pansies in one and the little miniature roses in a different one. But before I do that, I need to prepare these for their burial, or for their basically a burial, for their preservation in the resin. So roses really give off a lot of bubbles. Dried roses do. So what I'm going to do is I've got some letsresin hard type UV resin, and I'm going to get it and just let it sit in this center area of this one that's opened, and the bud that's sort of opening, I'll do it the same. And then this is the main area where bubbles arise, and it's the same type of thing on sunflowers and other composite flowers. That center area has got a whole bunch of those little pistils and stamens and things. They come up and they just hold on to air. So I'm going to try and get this and let that sink down a bit so that it will totally seal up the area that's going to be, trying to see. I don't see any bubble in there, and that's got a dog hair on it. And I don't want to go too quickly with this, with the UV light, because then it'll get too hot and create those bubbles. And I don't want bubbles. Okay, I don't see any bubbles happening there. Wonderful, wonderful. Now I'm going to add a little bit more UV resin around that first layer of petals that are sticking up, right around in here, because bubbles will try and hide in there. I just want to prevent them from happening as much as possible. I mean, a bubble here or there is not going to kill anybody, but it sure does make the person who's the resiner see the flaws in his or her work. And I know I don't like it when I get bubbles going, and the people are like, "Oh, but it's so pretty." And you know, I understand bubbles happen, and I understand that we are our worst critics. But if I can prevent as many as possible, that's going to be the best deal. And then I'm going to turn it a little bit so that I can get down on the bottom side of these. Because I've been burned by bubbles before. thought I had the perfect rose, and I pull it out, and there's one big giganto bubble right in the middle. I'm like, oh. The person who ended up buying it didn't mind. I was like, yeesh, I can do better than that. And so a little bit of prep work may take a little bit more time. You know, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to be embarrassed later on. And now before I do the rest of this one, I'm going to do the little one. And this one is going to go under, oh, you know, there's another spot right there where I know bubble's going to hang out. Right there. And what I was going to say is, before I go to the underside where the stem has little cilia hairs, I'm going to put it under the big lamp. Okay, I think I got most of the areas where bubbles will happen. So you go back there. These were not very big flowers to begin with, but when I put them in the sand, they shrunk. And I'm like, oh, what happened to them? They're so cute. It's little dainty things. I love roses. I love roses that look pretty, but I really love roses that smell good. In fact, a rose that is really pretty and doesn't have an aroma, it's plastic to me, and I can deal without it. This one, come on now. Keep sliding away. Keep sliding away. Slip sliding away. Slip sliding away. And my AC's running, and the vent is blowing right here. Keeps moving those pansies, because you dry pansies out, they don't weigh anything. I'm going to put a little bit right in the center areas of them, because they have a tendency to fall apart when you get them into when they're really dry. And I don't want them losing a petal. Just get that resin in the middle on all of the, holding all 5 petals, so they don't fall off once I place them. Now, these molds I'm going to be building upside down. So what that means is, this is the way the piece is going to end up. So the roses are going to have to go, and that's why I'm doing this prep work here, because I won't be able to see where the bubbles are coming from, or where they might originate, or that's the same thing, that's redundant. I won't be able to see where there is a bubble until after I unmold it, and if I can do it this way, then I can try and prevent some of those bubbles from happening. La 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 boom die, 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 la la la. I don't know why that song came in my head, but it did. Tra la la boom die, ba da ba bum ba da, ba da ba bum ba da, da 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 dum bum 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 bum. I do not know if any of you have ever looked at a pansy and seen the face. But I see an eye here and an eye here and a mouth with a fuzzy mustache. That one is, now that it's dry, it's a little harder to see. Look on this one. The eyes and the mouth is here, and he's got a, what do they call that? A widow's peak? This one, the eyes are here, the fuzzy mustache. My grandma used to raise these outside her kitchen window up in Michigan, and I used to imagine those things coming to life. And this is before Alice in Wonderland. I'm going to mix up some resin now. I'm going to I'm not going to go very deep, so I think I'm just going to use 1-to-1 resin. It'll cure a little quicker. If I were doing the whole thing all at once, I would definitely use deep pour, because that's a little over 1 inch thick. But I'm going to go about 1/2 inch, so I'm going to just go with 1-to-1 and pray that it doesn't flash on me. I don't think it will. Okay, I mixed up the resin. Now I'm going to go in with Miniature Rose 1. Check and make sure. Yeah, I got it all around. Now I just have to aim that guy, because right now he's aiming the wrong way. There. And then this guy, I'll put him opposite. Let me turn it around. Okay, it's looking kind of good. I wish I had something else to go. I'll look for, I got some greenery over there. I'll put in just a second. I'll find it after I get these guys placed. Let me use this. One set there nicely. It tells me that purple one turned sideways. Bubble coming up right there, and another one, but I'm able to deal with them. Yeah, he turned. Oh, that piece broke off. Boogers. Well, you know what? I better just leave it alone. Stop messing with it. Just leave them. Bubble coming up there. Come over here and grab my little towel to wipe that silicone tool off and stop messing with it, because I'll end up breaking more than that purple one. Okay. Now, I said, got some greenery over here. More than just greenery, some purplery. You know, I got some. Those are little pink roses. I don't need greenery, I can just use these. Now these are pressed flowers. Is it a rose? Sure does look like. Well, it's pink. It's going in. I gotta turn it the other way. Oh, really? Stay with me. Da, 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 da. Hey, if it'll stay like that, that'll be awesome. I'm gonna have to finagle with that one to get it to go down like the other one on the other side. Oh, that's a very fragile one. If I can get it to stick up there. There. That'll work. So I got some pretty flowers in there. Roses and whatever those other things are that look sort of like a pressed rose. You know, that little purple one wants to go in really bad. So in he goes. Actually, that wasn't quite so purple. It was more magenta-ish. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is. I'm going to stick with it. What color is that? Magenta-ish. That plastic covering is a pain. You don't need to see me struggling with it on the camera. Nope. You can listen to me struggling with it, but you're not going to see me. Yikes. Yikes-a-roni. Well, they're back in. Now, here. Okay, I'm going to stop messing with it because if I keep messing around, bad things will happen. We'll get bubbles or something of that sort, and we don't want that. Okay, I'll come back to you after that gels up enough where I can put another layer in. Those are cured up a little bit, so coming in with the hopefully the final pour. I may end up leaving a little gap so I can put something shiny on the bottom like I did on that one. This one here. Well, maybe they hold a little bit more than that. I'll find out. Yeah, it says 5.1, but this says 6.3, so I have to mix up a little bit more. In addition to these, that ladies group wanted me to do a set of thinkers. And this one, this set, this is a ladies group from our church. This set was the traditional colors of the wise men, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And then the other ones are going to be 2 sets of gold ones and 2 sets of silver. And I'm going to show you that I have already dusted the molds for the gold. And these are going to be gold. And this set will be gold. So I need to mix up some more resin anyway to put a little bit more in here, but then I also need to fill those in. And so I will put a little bit more in here, and then I will add a little bit of either yellow or gold mica in and fill those so that they'll be solid gold. So back to mixing more resin. Seems like once you get started you never stop. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Mixed up some more resin. This will fill this one up just a bit. Get it just like the other one. Actually, I may go all the way to the top so I can get the pansies covered. Now, in that one I'm going to put some shiny crystals on the bottom so that it'll match that other one. And this should be almost enough to fill those up. Mix in a little bit of this letsresin gold powder. Don't need much. Well, this is from the this little bottle got out of its can. This is from the chameleon powder collection. Should be pretty. Man, that going around that tripod is a real pain. This is just a hint of gold. It's not super dark. I didn't want clear because I thought the clear might not bring out that gold enough, and I didn't want black because the black would cause that gold to turn almost a greenish color. And I didn't want to add white because you never know what I went with the color at hand, but not super intense amount. Now with these guys, put a little bit in, and then I gotta squeeze in their toes to make sure there's no bubble down in there, because that's really the only place bubbles can hang out with these thinkers. Squeeze those toes, make sure there's no air pockets down in there. Cannot have that. That would cause them to have a funny looking fungus, I guess, on their toe. And we don't want to have a fungus among us. No, 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 no. Not at all. And it's now midnight, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so now did I tell you how much I don't like reaching around this tripod? Man! Yeah, I think I'm about an ounce short, because each of those other ones can use just a little bit more. Okay, well, I'm not going to bore you with those details because you've already seen me do it, but yeah. So we'll see you for the uncuring, or for the unmolding. With this one, I may go ahead and put those glass crystals in without showing you. I got some shards over here, and I'll just put some shiny crystals down there. Or I'll ask my wife, and if she says just leave it clear, then I'll leave it clear. Okay, see you later. Well, I talked to my wife, and she said leave this clear. And as I was talking, I noticed these pansies are looking at me. So when I flip it over, I'm looking at the bottom side. I'm going to take it out. If it doesn't look good enough, I'm going to redo, and I'm going to use some other flowers. I won't use pansies, because pansies are extremely delicate, frail things, and they don't come out nice, and they do that. So she said, well, we can always keep that one around here if we need to. Okay. So I'm going to be redoing. I need to put more resin in this because I never filled it all the way up, because I was debating whether I was going to do the glass shards like I did on that one. So I'm going to pull this one out and start over, because I needed to make another flower one anyway. I'll look at the, yeah, I'm looking at the back side of those pansies. I'm just looking at it right now. That purple one flipped. That little purple thing is pretty. It's kind of pretty to me because I know what it is, but if we could burn the flower, the candle this way. Oh, and it had a little bubble along there. Okay. These flowers that I was having a hard time putting back, I think I'm going to go with those 3 there, and maybe throw in this. These are like a lilac color daisy, and then that purple flower there is what I'm going to put in this new one. I'm not going to touch that one yet, but these thinkers are done. This mold was starting to leak, so I had to take some out, and I put the excess into this egg. This is going to be a pretty egg. I've got extra from different pours. I just threw it in there so it's got all these different colors, blues and pinks, clear, and now some gold. And these are fun to take out because this middle section okay, I loosened it all the way around. Ooh, pretty gold. Looks like an Oscar. Okay, come on now. This pedestal that they stand on is long, and so it's kind of slow coming out. Yeah, let's set that down. There we go. Yeah, that came out nice. Now, and I will redust that. I remember one time on a set that I made, I pulled them out. It was cured like this, but I didn't feel down here, and the toes were still a little bendy, and I didn't pull the toes out correctly, and I just started yanking. Some super long toes. With this mold being as glossy as it is, makes it easy for them to, like that, to just loosen. Molds that are extremely textured, like the owls that I made a couple weeks ago. Oh man, those are, sounds like you're tearing stuff when you're pulling it out. Because all that texture holds on a little bit. Okay, so that's all loose now. Come down to the foot section. The cool thing about that toe that got real long, I was able to just touch on it a little bit and reshape it. It didn't stay looking weird. Good enough to where somebody liked it and bought it, so. The eye of the beholder. Eye of beholder. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Eye of beholder. Oh, I'm sitting there pushing it. It's already come out. Okay. So the 3 Thinkers gold are done, and I will do another set of gold. Yeah, cool. Okay, I gotta mix up some resin now, and I will come back, and after those will be dusted, I'll come back and re-pour and put in these flowers. Mixed up some resin now, and I'll top this one off with clear, as my wife said she prefers the clear. And if she prefers it, then most likely those other ladies will prefer it. Whoa, tried to get over here before that drip happened. Now I don't want to go too far with these, because these flowers I'm going to put in are floaters. Well, those flowers are sticking in place, which is awfully nice, because those pansies did not. I'll clean those off more thoroughly in just a bit. I want to show you what those pansies, when they floated down from the top, they don't look so good. But if you look at it from the side, there you can see the pansy perfectly. But people are going to be looking down on tea lights, usually not grabbing it and looking up on it. So that's why that one's not going to be going to those ladies. Let me see if I can see any bubbles. I don't see any there. No. Well, let's just pray that works. Now, got to mix some gold into the rest of this so I can pour those. Here we are. These are all cured up. See how these flowers turned out. Hopefully they didn't. My wife says, oh, those pansies aren't bad. So we may end up keeping those. That's that here. So we'll see about this. Well, that daisy looks good, and that one there, and that one there, and that one there. Yeah. Oh, and there is a butterfly. Woo, down at the bottom. Coolness. And I can see right here, there's a butterfly. Can't quite get enough of it to get my finger in there. There we go. Hope these little roses look good. Well, there's one rose and it looks good. And the bud looks good. And these pink flower, and there's a blue butterfly. Flutter by. Yeah, so those look really cool. And I have one set of gold thinkers, and I'm going to have my second set. And hopefully everybody will be happy with these. No growing toes. Yep, good, 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 good. Yeah. Now, this is Let's Resin Bright Gold mica powder, and this is Let's Resin Ancient Gold. And I did the Ancient Gold on the gold, frankincense, and myrrh because those guys were from olden times, the wise men. So that, whoa, that silicone said, "Not today." Toes did not grow. Another pretty. And I will clean these molds off in just a little bit, and I will use my big wipes for those. Steve McDonald talks about the big wipes, and they do a really good job with cleaning. I'm getting this extra little mica stuff. Let me show you a pro tip. If you have little spicks of mica, get out some packing tape. It pulls it right off. Also, it also can pull off extra resin, but that's not what I'm gonna use the big wipes for that. A little bit over here. And I think, oh, there's a little bit right there. And that got off that extra mica. I mean the extra resin that was stuck on there. I didn't get all of it because there's some stuck on the dude. There we go. You're just too good to be true. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Can't take my eye off of you because this gold is so pretty. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Come on, inside out. And I've got a little bit of overhang right there. Do 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 do. And it peels right off real easily. I love you, baby. I'll clean that one up a little bit. Oh, I got a little bit more up here too. So yeah, I'll clean him up, and then I'll clean these off, and I'll get those ready for silver. You don't need to see all of that. You need to see the flowers, and you need to see the sand, because that's what's going to be. You've seen the gold guys and the gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So yeah, that's what's happening on this commission. So yeah, so thank you, subscribers. Thank you for those who follow, and if you are a follower or not a subscriber, you ought to subscribe. It's free, and you can click that little bell, and every time I come on to do something new, you can follow along and see what kind of crazy stuff I'm doing then. Maybe I'll give you a tip that you can use, like using UV resin to seal the flowers before they go in. And you can even see when I make a mistake, like those pansies. Well, Yep. So, we will see you on the flip side.